So joining me now is Ali Mustafa, who is a journalist at CBC. And today we're going to be talking about the issue of Imran Khan and how he's still in jail. But Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, he is under some pressure to help release him. So first of all, Ali, I just want to ask you, why do you think the UK government is intervening in this, and what do you think the Pakistan government make of this?
Well, I'm sure the government in Pakistan will not be too pleased with this intervention. And if you can call it that intervention, because what we've seen happen with the United Kingdom in Pakistan is some level of complicity in mass human rights violations that have taken place in the country since at least 2022, when Imran Khan's government was removed in a vote of no confidence in April of 2022. And the political groups that conspired to bring Imran Khan down, Nawaz Sharif and the Bhutto Zardari clan, then ended up colluding with the military over mass human rights violations that included abductions, that included torture, and in the worst examples, in the worst cases, that included even allegedly murder at the hands of the military establishment.
In terms of his condition in jail, what kind of condition do you think he may be in? We know that the United Nations and other human rights groups are calling for his release. They are very concerned about his condition. What do you think of this?
So the only information that we have of Imran Khan's condition comes from the people that have met him directly. And keep in mind, it's been over 451 days since Imran Khan has been, and you find it ridiculous that a 72-year-old has been kept in prison in Adiala jail under the auspices of the ISI, or the Inter-Services Intelligence, which is Pakistan's premier. They like to call it the premier intelligence agency. What is it premier on, or why is it such a premier organization? Because it is a master in abductions, in bugging, in torturing, detaining their own people. And this is what we've seen happen with Imran Khan, where, according to his sisters, who met him in the past 24 hours after 3 weeks, because they themselves had been kept in detention for protesting for his release, they tell us that he has been fed food which has resulted in him vomiting or throwing up, that he was kept in a cell for days at a time, in a small cell of 12 feet by 6 feet, for days at a time. And pictures are available of this online that you can check for, and without exercising or the ability to even walk. So the question is, why are they resorting, or have the authorities, the regime or the military junta that is in place or in play in Pakistan, why have they restricted a former Pakistan captain, arguably the best all-rounder that Pakistan ever produced, a legend, a cricketing legend, a philanthropist who built the country's first cancer hospital free of charge for people who couldn't afford it, for a former prime minister who allegedly didn't pay tax on a watch that was gifted to him by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, which was then sold allegedly by his wife, who and was declared, but the tax amount wasn't declared. And on those charges, and this is one of hundreds of charges that have been laid out against him multiple times. Um, so it is a mockery of justice, and it is ridiculous. One of the charges included counting the menstrual cycles of his wife, Bushra, to determine if the marriage was legal under Islamic law from the time her husband divorced her. So you can imagine the mockery of not just justice, but religion, and these things you can't make up. And despite all of these attempts, what happened on the 8th of February with the elections in Pakistan, what would you call it? A sweep of sorts. Um, and then there was mass rigging. And all of this played out in front of people. So since then, to cover up what the election heist or the mandate theft, so to speak, there have been multiple abrogations of the Constitution, including the so-called 26th Amendment to the Constitution, which was pushed through on the backs of abductions, bribes, threats, torturing family members, taking pictures of women in families, in compromising positions, and using that to push through draconian military laws as part of this 26th Amendment uh, in a midnight push. And they had to subvert the entire judicial system um, to contain or to hide the fact that they are, or the regime that is in power is the most brutal, fascist, illegitimate regime that has been imposed on the Pakistanis um, since not just February, the 8th of February, but since, April 2022.